Y'all good over there? Y'all good over there?
Yeah, you know it. You know what time it is. You know what time it is. Stop playing with it.
Y'all good over there?
Yeah, we good. We good, man. Good. You had to work out a little bit.
I see you. I know you was twerking. I didn't know.
I don't do that. I know
what you was doing. I saw you bouncing in your chair. You was.
I was doing the sitting, the running sitting man.
Oh, okay, running sitting man. Okay.
The running sitting man.
Yeah, ain't no twerking over here, B. James. Don't be bringing that Montel Jordan music over here.
No, Montel Jordan. I forgot.
Hey, you from SoCal? We talked about this already.
I forgot. That's all the East Coast people think we listen to out here. This is how we do it.
This is how we do it.
Yes. That's. And what was that Southern California song that what you call it got? You was talking about him earlier. Raphael Sadiq, Tony.
It never rains in Southern California.
Yeah.
But he wasn't singing that one. He wasn't.
No. But what I'm saying is that's it. That's another song that everybody thinks that only gets played out here
because that's the best one. That's the best. Yeah, I love that one. That one.
That is a good. That's a good.
Has closed the evening.
That is definitely a good.
On many days for me. So I love that song.
That's definitely a goodie. Definitely a goodie.
The video version, though. The video version is the best version to me. I love that.
Oh, okay. With that being said, what's good, fellas? How y'all doing?
Maintaining, brother. Can't complain, man. Can't complain. How everybody doing?
It's playoff time, baby. You already know. We just got finished doing the broadcast of the Vikings and the Panthers going into overtime. A little bit of game lagging, but what ended
up happening,
game too. JB came through in the clutch. You know what I'm
saying? Hey, JB definitely came through in the clutch. Everybody was wondering what the hell he was doing with the field goal, but ended up working out.
Yeah, JB.
So, well, we got another great game coming up after this. After the podcast, we got MP versus J Hall.
Yeah,
it's gonna be a banger. We got a lot of it's gonna be spread versus unorthodox. So we're gonna see how that came out, and I want to definitely commend Space on giving a valiant effort. He put together a solid defensive game plan and put players in places that they ordinarily wouldn't have been, and it worked out very well. Everybody, like I said, Harrison Smith is a player that everybody in French, especially in franchise mode, everybody says, "Oh, he's too slow. He's this, that, and third." And you normally trade him. He went out and he kept Harrison Smith and went out and got Jordan Poyer and put them both at corner. Amazing. I thought that was an amazing feat. And he did a great job at doing something different on the defensive end, especially schematically.
And Poyer's an old head that he made big plays.
He made great plays.
He made big plays.
Yeah. And I know it's all about Space, man, but look, I still, because I did this before the season started, and I'm going to do it now. I'm still acknowledging the impact that McMickens, MTV Famous, had, because there is no way in the world that Kyler Murray ends up in Minnesota. Okay. Now, I know he had the Cardinals, and I know he made them trades, but I'm just saying, we saw a lot of superstars go to different teams, and a lot of those teams are now in the playoffs, and I can't wait to see the second matchup because they got a lot of talent from other places as well.
Oh, definitely. It's a lot of big time matchups, man. And I can't wait to watch them, man. We still got the Dons and Woody trilogy coming up. It'll be a third time matching up. And then we got the Bunsby versus C-Jack.
Yeah.
That's another banger. So we got a lot of bangers coming up, man. So I just recommend everybody lock in, tune in, and things like that. What are you expecting out of these playoffs, guys?
Well, actually, that's funny. You even asked the question because I was going to ask you, like, out of all the teams you just mentioned, who's the one that you feel has the biggest cross to bear, the one that's carrying the most weight, the one that has to win? That's what I was going to ask you because right now I'm just enjoying it, man. Look, I don't care what these guys say in the chat. I don't care what they've done in the regular season. It's the playoffs, right? So whatever you do in the playoffs is what your legacy is going to be. I don't care what happened in the regular season. None of that matters. Dimes knows it. Woody knows it. And P damn sure knows it. J Hall knows it. B-Gar, we saw him win earlier. He know it. JB knows it. You know what I'm saying? And I don't think we have any really like people that are new to the scene because Trade for Life and Illuminati, they're going to be going at it. You know what I'm saying? So they've been in there before, but yeah, C-Jack knows what he got to do. We ain't got to talk about, his regular season. He knows what he got to do.
No, he knows. He knows. He definitely
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm here to watch. I'm here to observe because they all got something to prove, and they know this.
No, definitely. We got, like I said,
that Bunsby and C Jack game. I am definitely looking forward to that one, man. Like, that's gonna be that's must see TV right there, man. That's
definitely
4 or 5 seed. You know what? I'll say this. Like, I've noticed here in Madden Underground, most of the time, 4 or 5 seeds are just like bangers.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Most of the time, it's not ever like, the 2 and the 7 seeds or the 3, 6 seeds. It's those 4 or 5 seeds, man. And those games, I mean, even though we just had a banger, about a half hour or so ago, 45 minutes or so ago.
Yeah.
But it, going to overtime, that was a great game. But the 4 or 5 seed, man, like, they're just so crazy, man. I'm looking forward to that C Jack Bunsby game, man. That's going to be a great one with the Dolphins and the Chiefs.
Definitely, it's going to be a huge one. We got a lot of different things to talk about. A lot of different things that's going on in franchise mode. The EA is trying to do their best to update certain things, and there's certain things that I want to let people know that's going on in franchise mode, like the things that you need to know, because a lot of guys, it's their first time going into franchise mode and they don't know what they're necessarily getting into. But I want to make sure these guys, everybody in the league, knows what they're getting into. And me and Philly guy noticed something different yesterday. We stumbled on something. We want to let the rest of the league know that you can't tank no more. You can't tank anymore. Like the guys that are like, oh, I'll tank and sit the season out. Bro, you will do your team such a disservice if you finish under 500 in franchise mode this year. Like, I don't like you. Some guys say, well, I'm gonna do this, do that. No, you will do your team such a disservice by not putting your best foot forward. It's some like, if you're not intentionally doing it, that's one thing. But you got guys that are like, oh, I'm gonna take this season off, build for the next season, and things like that. But it does your team such a disservice.
Let me be the first to say, okay. Obviously, everybody knows I am not good at the game. Okay, I am in the PS5 side. I'm gonna tell y'all exactly what's going on right now, so y'all have an opportunity to know. Okay. Right now, I have, I got the Buffalo Bills. Okay, I am trying to sign a very young Terrell Edmonds. Okay, trying to sign him. He's not interested. No matter what you give him.
Yeah.
He's not interested.
He's not interested. He wants to play for a contender.
Who else was it? Jordan Poyer. Older head. Great player. He's not interested. All the big players that you have to, because these are guys that, whoever has the Bills, these are guys that if you're under 500, 9 times out of 10, no matter how much money you give these cats, they're not interested.
Definitely.
They're not interested. They don't want no parts of it. And they will test free agency with no problem. You're going to have to try to get them in free agency. Good luck to you with that one. So again, for example, a guy like Jordan Poyer and Terrell Edmonds, I'm not going to get him in free agency. Everybody's going to be trying to get, especially Edmonds. Edmonds is what, 24?
Yeah.
Something like that. Guy. He's young. So he could get one big contract and you good for, in our league, you're good for an entire, Madden 23 cycle. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
So that's a guy, man, that you got to pay attention. What Brian James and what Philly is telling you guys, it is absolutely 100% correct. These guys will not be interested if you are not at least a remotely decent team. You got some good players on your team that will be like, oh, hell no, I don't want to be a part of this team at all. And no matter what you give them, you know what I'm saying? I tried to give the man $100 million. You wasn't trying to hear it?
Ain't trying to hear it.
Nope.
And I'm telling you, like, this year has been different opposed to last year and years before. I know the game has a lot of hiccups that it has right now. And the EA is doing their best to fix it or whatever. But I just need everybody to understand that the offseason is the most important part of franchise mode. This is the part where guys say, they don't do this part, or they don't take this part seriously, and then their team fall off, and then you replace them because they quit. You know, and it's and I'm trying to inform everyone on how imperative this part of the off season that's coming up, especially this year, because franchise mode is extremely fragile. You know, the draft is you got the draft glitch where you go into purgatory and you never get out of it. So this year you have to sim the draft. So that means that understanding how to set a draft board, you're not going to be able to pick the player that you want. You have to set your draft board this year because of the glitch in the game that doesn't allow you to draft. So with that being said, and if you want to get past the draft, you definitely have to sim it until EA notifies everyone that it's fixed. You know, so you have the draft is going to be simmed. So you have to know how to set your draft board so you get the players that you want. So that's something that you that's extremely imperative that you need to know. Because if you're thinking like, oh, I'm about to draft him, get these guys, this guy and that guy, but you don't know how to set your draft board, you're at a huge disadvantage. So that's something that you want to make sure that you are aware of, that the draft glitch is a real thing, and that you need to learn how to set your draft boards. Also, on the first round of the offseason, you can only bid on 5 players. So if you're bidding on 5 players that everybody else is bidding on, you may not get any of them. Just that first wave of free agency, when everybody jumps in there and they're trying to get the best players, you can only bid on 5 players. You don't know how much everybody else is bidding on them. You don't even know if you have enough to bid on him. You just bid on 5 players that you want. It doesn't guarantee that you're going to get them. So you have to be mindful of those traits that the players have. If they're even interested, or does your team have what they're looking for? Do you have a franchise quarterback? Do you have the money? Do you have the no tax situation? All these things are extremely important in franchise this year. And a lot of guys aren't. I see dudes trading, getting hit with cap penalties and things like that, doing different things to where they don't even know. Okay, you get to the resign phase, and you can't re-sign your players because of all the cap penalty, because you think you have money this year, and that's the money that the cap penalty impacts your ability to re-sign. I had guys hit me up about that, like, oh, I have 36 million. Yeah, you got 36 million this year. You done traded Kyler Murray away. You done traded all these different players away. So next year, all those new contracts had huge cap penalties attached to them. Now, the offseason come, you did your team a disservice. So these are all things that you want to be mindful of, that you guys are operating like real GMs in franchise mode. So it's extremely important that you guys, get these things done. So it's different, So like I said, you going into the offseason is extremely important because Madden is extremely fragile, especially franchise mode. So you want to make sure that you do your part on being informed and aware of everything that's going on every step of the way. Every single step of the way. You want to make sure, and after, even if you miss this broadcast, make sure you go back and watch this broadcast. If you know something, because this is the most important part of franchise mode. Game, everybody can get on and play the game, but can you manage your team? Can you build your team in the future? Can you build your team in an upward manner? Another thing, regression, progression. Regression is a real thing. A lot of people are thinking like, oh, I got these abilities. Breakout games only impact you for this season. During the offseason, if your player didn't get an award, he will lose that ability. Those aren't permanent abilities. These are things that you need to know. These are things that a lot of people don't know. Like, oh, I got this breakout game. It's permanent. Then when the offseason comes, your player didn't make the Pro Bowl and you don't have ability no more. You're like, oh, my ability's going. Can you give it back? He didn't make the Pro Bowl. And that's what everything is predicated on. Awards, Pro Bowl, and things like that. So if your player downgrades, that's why. If your player upgrades, that's why. These are all things that you need to know. So don't come to me saying, oh, my player lost his ability. What's that about? It's called regression. You didn't perform. You tanked. You wanted to be number 5 in the draft. Now, whatever superstar or X factor that you had, he may just be a superstar now, or he just may be a star. These are all things that you need to be mindful of. If you were under 500 it's a huge possibility that your players' development traits may change. So those are things that you just need to know. Like I know I ain't trying to scare nobody. I'm not trying to put the fear of God into anybody, but these are definitely things that all players need to know moving forward into franchise mode. I'm trying to think of what else. What else do we want to talk about?
Well, I mean, look, let's be real, okay? I stayed up past my bedtime last night, so we could look into a lot of these things that you're breaking down and explain to people. And I know a lot of people that are tuning in and they're watching the show. I just want to answer the question everybody's been asking. No, just because Snipes is wearing the Giants hat does not mean that's the reason that the Bills players didn't want to sign back with him. Okay? That is not the reason. Okay, but you don't want to risk any of that. You only have one franchise tag. Okay, and so everything Brian James is telling you, and I promise you, every time, okay, that he was telling me, hey, Philly, check this. Hey, Philly, check that. Hey, let's look into this. We looked at all of it. And I will tell you that there's one thing, one shining light of hope, but you're not going to like it. You are not going to like it, okay? We found a team under 500. It was the worst record in the NFC, okay? 4-13. They got a Pro Bowler, and their Pro Bowler led the league in tackles. Now, I don't know about you, but I'm telling you right now, that is not what you want to hang your hat on. Because everything else that we looked at, and I was arguing with B. James about this. I was like, hey, man, why this dude's team, why did he go to the Pro Bowl? He's not even above 500. This other dude, he had like 8 wins. Brian's like, well, he got 8 wins. I'm like, he got 8 wins, but there's people that are in the playoffs. And their players are in the top 10, and they didn't go to the Pro Bowl. They didn't get no love.
They made a valiant point, and I want to see if I can find this. They made a huge point to make sure that they said that the players that deserve the awards get the awards. That was something that they not a player that you spammed to get the award. A player that you spam, like you went out there, you onside kicking, getting the ball back and trying to spam somebody, McMickens. Those players didn't get the award. Those players won't get the awards and probably won't upgrade. You know what I mean? Because if like I said, but McMickens had a good record, so it may not necessarily apply to him. But if you're under 500 and you didn't perform up to par, or your player didn't meet the said goals, it's gonna drastically impact the development aspect of it. So that offseason component, and that's what another thing, the next thing I want to talk about, given the offseason. Certain teams aren't built to win right now. Mm-hmm. Some people try to force a team that was built to win next year to win right now. You made trades that gave up certain things, certain aspects of your team, certain future components that you needed for the future. You gave up your future for the right now when your team was built to win for the future. So you can be competitive right now or come up with a game plan to make your team win right now and things like that. But I'm not saying don't try to win right now. But what I'm saying is understand that there are certain teams that have certain, like the Texans, the Lions. The Lions are building for the future. So you got a fast receiver. You need a quarterback. So next year when the draft comes, you go get a quarterback. You need a faster DBs. Draft comes, you get faster DBs. You know, like you watch what Space did. Space knew, okay, my DBs aren't the best. The corners aren't the best on the Vikings. That's everybody knows that. So what he did was he went out and got the safety that everybody normally trades because he's old and slow. He knows that he has 90 plus awareness, 90 plus play recognition, 90 plus zone. He put him at corner, especially with the ad catches because Harrison Smith was a bigger safety, right?
Yeah.
Put him at corner. He's able to match up with those bigger receivers because the bigger receivers aren't really that fast. Everybody wants to use a bigger receiver. They aren't really that fast. So you putting Harrison Smith there, he's okay because everybody's trying to ad catch right now. Smart move by Space. I thought that was genius. He went out and got Poyer. Poyer, move him to corner. Want to know what happens with Poyer? He jumps the ball because he has the awareness, play recognition. He's going to jump. He's going to be in the right place at the right time. He's never going to be out of position. And then you notice in that game today, Space was his DBs were never out of position. And that's the thing. That's the difference. If you got high man coverage, high zone coverage, and things like that, and you know how to play the ball or play the receiver, you know how to spot, you know, use all those mechanisms. There's a way to stop aggressive catching, and he did a good job of displaying how to do so. You know, he put it on the clinic in my opinion. So it's, even though Space lost the game, he put on the clinic and showed you a lot of different things that people probably haven't even implemented in their game. But that comes to, like, if you have a team, don't throw away your future or your team because you're trying to win now. If you can get pieces without giving up the future, try to do that. You know, you may have a 69 overall left tackle. Go out and get a 75 overall left tackle. You don't have to get a 99 overall left. You know what I mean? Just get something that's going to make your team better. Yeah. Slowly but surely, you know, and things like, I know everybody's racing and it's an urgent matter and things like that. But sometimes in that process, you compromise the future and the chemistry of your team by trading certain pieces. But, you know, with that being said, just like I said, the offseason's coming. Once we get through the playoffs, get the Super Bowl, do the Super Bowl, pay everybody out, and get everything done. We'll go into the offseason. We'll do the re-sign period. That'll be a day. We'll do the free agency period. That'll be a day. And then we'll give everybody an entire 24 hours to set your draft boards. That's gonna be a difficult task because I know a lot of you guys don't know how to do that. And what I'll do is I'll actually maybe sometime this weekend I'll make a video on how to set your draft board for those of you who don't know how to do it. You have to go to the prospect list and hit the Y or triangle button on the players that you want. And then if you hold the L trigger button, you can cycle through and see the players on the draft board, and you can adjust them with the A button and the X button up and down the list in the order that you would like them to be picked, if they're there or available when you're still trying to pick. So that's just what it is right now. It may not be like that for next season, but definitely for season 1, the draft has to be sim because of the draft glitch. So that's just what it is. I recommend everybody, like I said, do your homework, do your due diligence in figuring that out. Shout out to Cal Bear for the subscription. But definitely do your due diligence in getting what's necessary. Quarterbacks. Everybody's asking about quarterbacks. I told you guys at the jump. We gave everybody an X Factor quarterback. I told you guys the necessary things that you guys needed to do with the quarterbacks. Play. I seen guys say, "Oh man, I'm gonna take the season off." Then at the end they want to say, "Hey, you gonna fix my quarterback?" No, I ain't fixing nothing, bro. You took the season off. You didn't do your best. You didn't do your homework. You know, if you sat there and cried and all that stuff, that's on you. You know what I mean? And my thing is, everybody, I didn't have the best of seasons. You don't hear me complain. I don't even have the best of team. You know what I mean? But it's just like, at the end of the day, if you got the pieces and you trading the pieces away, that's on you. You know what I mean? We didn't put any restrictions on anybody in how they were to build their teams and things like that. But let's get it, you know.
Yep.
Let's get it. But we got some big time matchups coming up today. Like I said, we got the MP versus J-Hog game. PS5 will be advancing tonight. We'll start the wild card. We got Sprint. We got a lot of different cats that we want to see play. Dimes, Assassin, Big Show. You know, all these different cats. Fetty. It's hey, the NFC got dogs.
Yeah, I want to NFC is crazy.
I want to talk. We're gonna talk a little bit about Xbox, but I really want to get to the PS5 side a little bit too, and talk about PS5 a lot because the NFC and PS5 is loaded. So, like I said, the playoff picture on the Xbox side is kind of, you know, we know what's going on. We just had the Panthers versus the Vikings. Panthers came out victorious. We had B-Guard face off with Dots earlier this morning. Bucks came out victorious. Bucks got the win. They'll advance, which is crazy. And then you also have you got the Bengals and Browns. Like I said, the third time those guys will be facing off, and we'll see how that turns out. Dimes has been victorious twice against Woody, but we'll see if Woody is able to hold him off this time. Again, we got J Hall tonight, and then tomorrow we got Trey for Life and Illuminati. You know, and Illuminati's balling on Xbox and PS5, so we'll see what he's able to do, man. It's definitely gonna be a great thing to see, great thing to do. Shout out to, I see Slim Ghost in the building. What's good, bro? But yeah, it's gonna be a great experience, man. We got a lot of great things going on, and I can't wait, man. But let's talk about PS5 a little bit, man. The PS5 playoff picture is ridiculous.
Yeah.
The PS5 playoff picture is ridiculous. You got, like I said, you got dogs over here. You got Fetty, you got Jelly, you got Dimes, you got Snoop, you got Big Show, you got Greg, you got Bronco and Big Duke fighting it out for that last spot. They playing at 7:00 tonight. So it's
Pacific
gonna be
time, that is.
yeah, Pacific time, 10:00 Eastern.
Yeah.
But it's gonna be a dog fight, man. And I want to share this screen with you guys as well. Let me share this screen with you guys real quick.
Yeah, this P5 is really crazy. And you know, we talked about it on Monday in the game of the week, man, where a lot of people are not talking about Fetty. And Fetty right now in PlayStation, he's undefeated at 16-0. The only undefeated team in the league with the Dallas Cowboys, his Dallas Cowboys, I may add. And you know, I mean, he's just been playing outstanding football, man. He has been great across the board. And Jelly is a guy that you know, especially this year, you know, he's really he doesn't seem like the normal Jelly, but we know when the playoffs hit, that's when we gonna start seeing playoff Jelly.
No, yeah,
you know
yeah.
And you know, during the regular season, you know, I had to play him, and I'm not good, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, but I gave him a go for a little bit, and then obviously he started blowing me out.
You can't see Snipes. You know what I don't like is you sitting up here telling people you're not good. You may not be the best,
bro,
but you have years of experience of playing, man. You gave a valiant effort. You still competing. You know what I mean? You competing. You know what I mean?
I get what you're saying.
Did you win a game?
You won a game. You won a game. There's guys in this league that
I won a couple. Yeah, I won a couple.
There are guys in this league that haven't won a game. Mm-hmm. So you won the game. You played the game and you won the game. You know, so you can't say, okay, I'm nah, man. This is a league full of goons, and you holding your own, man. So what I'm gonna say is this. You got, like I said, we got Fetty at the top, 16-0. No, the quietest 16-0 I've ever seen in my life. The quietest 16-0 I've ever seen in my life. He actually has to play the Commanders tonight. They're playing tonight. So the Commanders may try to get, but it doesn't change the fact that he's going to be the number 1 seed. Mm-hmm. The Commanders has an opportunity to improve his seeding or whatnot. But I think Big Show is going to stay where he's at. And things like that. So it just basically is coming down. I know Snoop has an opportunity to move up a little bit.
Yeah, Snoop needs this game.
Yeah. If Dimes loses, but Dimes plays the 49ers, who only has, I think, 1 or 2 wins. Right, so I don't think he's gonna lose that. So it'll probably definitely stay the same. I know the Saints they're trying to get in, but he has to win. And I think it's impossible. Big Duke will have to lose, but that will put Bronco in. So it's like he's out. All right. So it's safe to say it just comes down to Big Duke and Bronco, and they play each other tonight. So whoever wins that game will be the number 7 seed. Let's see.
That's gonna be so crazy, man.
That's gonna be crazy because they got it's a winner go home type of game. You got my guy Jay Douglas, aka Memphis Doug, doing his thing, man, with them Texans, 14-2. And I know everybody said the Texans. This dude made he did what he had to do. He knew what the team needed. He went out and got what the team needed, and he's winning with that team. Illuminati's balling with his team. They're currently 12-5. Shout out to Sprint, 13-4 right now as we go into the playoffs. King Karan is 11-15. I mean 11-5. I mean, and Assassin is 12-4, so he'll probably jump. He'll probably be in the 4 seed. Oh no, he can't be the 4 seed. He have to be the 5 seed.
He can't be the 4 seed.
Yeah, he didn't win the division, so he, you know, he'll be where he's at. You know, we got Cal Bear as a 6 seed. He's I think that's solidified. I think that's actually solidified. And then you know, MTV Famous with the Browns making his way into the playoffs.
Now, how is it? Because I'm just assuming that it hasn't updated yet, right?
Yeah,
because you haven't advanced yet. But I mean, clearly the Chiefs have the better record than the Jets. So we know.
No, he's going to be the 2 seed.
Yeah, he's going to be the 2 seed. But when I look at all these records, like you said, it's the quietest 16-0 that you've ever heard.
Yeah.
And that's really what it is right now.
And look at Big Duke with 6,000 yards passing. Jesus Christ.
You call it what you want. Like, all the numbers is great, but the fact remains, Fetty is undefeated. So everybody beating on their chest and talking about what they gonna do, whatever. You know what? This man is sitting at the top. He's always gonna play the lowest seed to advance, and his work speaks for himself. So everybody else is gonna be in a dog fight, and we know his team is super juiced. We know that they probably got some Pro Bowlers, like you talked about earlier. We know they got the morale. We know they got everything rolling in their favor. So it's time to lock in. It's time to lock in. You ain't playing people and tricking them into getting sim wins and none of that other tomfoolery. You going up head to head against people, and it's put up a shut up time.
Oh yeah,
and I'm just saying.
Because if you one of those guys that trying to finesse and trick get sim wins, when you get to this point, it's gonna show. Somebody gonna put up 80, 80 on you. It's gonna show. You know, you can't mask. You can't, BS your way to the top.
If you come out in a wild card game and get blown out the water like 65-3 or something, you know what I'm saying? Like, it clearly shows what you were not ready for playoffs.
You were not ready. You had no business.
You were not ready for playoffs.
Because people tried to say that about Space on the Xbox side. Like, he was they were expecting him to get slapped up.
Yeah.
But Space, he lost, but he gave. I can't hate. The man he put on a great show today. And I thought he could have won the game had he stuck with Kyler Murray in those situations, but he didn't. So, but yeah, back to the PS5 side. So, based on what you're seeing right here, Snipes, and we saw firsthand, we got beat up by a lot of these guys.
Yeah.
Who do you think is going to inflict the most pain in the playoffs?
In the playoffs, the NFC side.
NFC is crazy though. Like crazy.
I can't even tell you really in the NFC, man, because obviously, again, the quietest 16-0, I think, ever in Madden Underground PS5 history. Yeah. In all honesty. And
he played dogs. Like you went 16-0 in the NFC, and you see the NFC's full of juggernauts.
Right, he plays
full of juggernauts.
Yeah, play straight dogs in the NFC, man. But it's a tough call in the end. It's a real tough call in the NFC. But in the NFC, man, you know what? Right now, I don't got no choice. I gotta take Fetty right now in the NFC. I have to. He's made a believer out of me, man. Just looking at this record and seeing the people that he's played. I gotta take Fetty right now.
What makes Fetty ridiculous? I'm gonna say ridiculous because that 16-0 is ridiculous. He's mastered aggressive catching.
Yes.
He can run them. I mean, like, I'm talking about mastered it. It's not like, he knows where to put the ball to where only his player can get it. He's going to jump. He's going to come down with it. And he probably land on his feet and run for a touchdown because you did something stupid. As far as trying to slot the ball or dive and make a tackle, you're going to be out of position. He's going to be in position to make a play. He's probably going to score.
Let me tell you something. The man has dominated with CD Lamb.
Yeah,
dominated.
You
understand?
Yo, like you don't put up these kind of numbers. You don't put up these kind of numbers without and he has like I said, he has a balanced attack too. You see not Dak, but Ezekiel Elliott, 1,500 yards, 23 touchdowns. And then if we were to go down further on the receiving list, you would see
CeeDee Lamb has 1,662 yards and 20 touchdowns.
Yeah, so 20 touchdowns. I'm like, and he's not turning the ball over. And on top of that, his defense, he has two guys as the top sack leaders.
Yeah,
17 and 18 sacks by DeMarcus Lawrence and Micah Parsons. They're on opposite sides of the defense, and they're just racing to the quarterback every play. Yep. The pass rush is there. If those guys have a combined number of over damn near 40 sacks together, then that pass rush is coming. So you have to be mindful of that. On top of that, Malik Hooker with that type of pass rush breathes and bursts interceptions. Malik Hooker right there, 14 interceptions, and doing the damn thing. So Fetty is definitely a guy you want to watch. You see Illuminati up here with Sauce Gardner, 15 interceptions, and you can see with the Green Bay Packers as well, their tackle leaders. But those, if you leading in tackles, that's not a good thing. That means you got a lot of Sims.
Hey, look, I'll say this too, man. If we flip over to the AFC side, though, I do like just because of the playoffs, and you know what I mean. We're hitting the playoffs. I really like Sprint. I love Sprint in that conference. I love Sprint to come out from that 3 seed. I love him to come out of that conference because of the squad that he has. Obviously when you got Patrick Mahomes, throwing for 53 touchdowns, I mean, you got to look at there's a lot of interceptions. That's the thing a lot of people got to understand for this year. This year, a lot of players throw a lot of interceptions, okay? A lot of players throw a lot of interceptions. He's got 53 touchdowns to only 25 interceptions. That touchdown to interception ratio is crazy. So he takes care of the football. You know what I'm saying? He takes care of the football, and he's got just, a great team across the board. And he is going to be an extremely tough out for anybody that has to deal with him. That is going to be a tough team, and I really think that they're going to end up coming out of the AFC. The AFC was a little bit easier for me to talk about than the NFC.
But this is the thing. I'm gonna say this. I'm not gonna say it was easier, but I will say this. Like I said, on the AFC side, nobody's talking about Jay Douglas.
You're right.
Jay Douglas. I think Jay Douglas is equally as tough as Fetty on the AFC side.
Fetty beat him though.
Fetty beat him.
They matched up. So what does that tell you?
And I'm just saying, I think that game could have gone either way. If my recollection serves me correctly, let's see what the score was. The score was actually 17-28. So it could have gone either way. That's the pass rush getting to you. You start forcing things. Could have gone either way. You know what I mean? I think if they match up again, this could possibly be a Super Bowl matchup.
Should be.
So,
but you know what? I think one of the reasons too that a lot of people don't talk about, and not talking about Doug,
about the Texans.
Doug. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people ain't talking about him because you see the record. Obviously, he's winning football games, right? But if you look at both the offensive side for the passing leaders, rushing leaders, receiving leaders, all that, and then you look at the defensive side with the tackle leaders and the sack leaders and everything else, you don't see any Texans.
No, you don't.
You know what I'm saying? You don't see any Texans.
You don't.
Because you don't see him, it's like, yo, what the hell is he doing?
The thing about Jay Douglas, though, I'm gonna tell you this now. Jay Douglas is not a guy who's out here looking for stats.
Right.
He's not looking for XP. He's just trying to collect the win because he knows it's hard enough to play with the Texans as it is. So that when you got that psyche and that mentality, you're gonna be a tough guy to beat because you're not there for the stats. You're not thinking about breakouts. You're not thinking about none of that.
You
thinking
just want
about
to win.
You just want to win. And that and I commend Jay Douglas on that. He's not a guy. He's not a guy that's gonna run a score up on you. He's gonna get in once he got the game in the bag. He's kneeling the ball out, getting out of there, not trying to make you feel even sorrier than you feel already. So
he's a get in, get out type of guy. Period.
Come on, gentlemen, get it off your chest. We know y'all was in the AFC. It was a tough season. Just get it off your chest. Let it out. It's a safe place.
It was.
Both. Come on.
No, but Jay Douglas is definitely one of those guys that made you feel okay with losing because he beat you in a nice way. Some of these goons is like, he's drowning, pour more water on him. You know what I mean? So it's but no, I like it. I love it. We had guys that never played that this is their first year in the league, and they didn't know that it's a dog eat dog mentality in PS5. They thought they were here to make friends. And it was gonna be kumbaya, and they were gonna make a couple friends, lifelong friends, and that's not what it is in PS5. A lot of these guys hate each other. A lot of these guys don't like each other. A lot of these guys, if they were in a room together, they probably fight. So and it's starting to be like that in Xbox, and I like it like that. I don't condone violence or anything like that, but I do like it, the fact that these games mean something to these guys, and they actually want to win, and they want to make you feel bad about losing. So can't knock that. But sportsmanship isn't at the top of their priority list in that sense.
No, I mean, and that's the cool thing too, is we have such a progressive commissioner who, like you said, he doesn't condone violence. but he's not going to let you sit in the corner and be quiet either. He's going to help keep the party going. You know what I'm saying? Get the fire started. And that's important because that's what you want. You want to have a league that engages. Like some people take it too far, and obviously, like you said, sportsmanship is not at the top of the list. But look, this is a competitive game. We're all competitors. You definitely should feel confident about your skills and what you bring it to the table, and you should definitely be able to speak your mind and put it out there. Because I will say this about the chat. The chat, when Space lost his game, the chat gave him respect. He got the respect that he should have gotten beforehand, but they gave it to him. You know what I'm saying? But it's just that if you are not mentally tough enough to play in this type of league, then this ain't the place for you. It's not the place for you. It's not going to change. It's not going to change.
If you came here to play patty cake,
no,
bro, you're going to get punched in the mouth. And that's just what it is. Another thing I want to talk about some of the Madden Underground backstories, okay? Because we got a lot of those on both sides of Xbox. We saw one last week, the game of the week. We had Bronco versus Dimes.
Yes, we did.
Dimes, blew past Bronco, was able to beat him. Took a commanding lead and was able to hold on to it and defeat Bronco.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of guys don't know is Bronco used to be part of Dimes' crew. They were in a crew together. When you in a crew and then you leave a crew, sometimes you feel like, you needed me, we didn't need you, whatever. That it is what it is. Maybe it was no hard feelings, but definitely it was a little bit tense when we did the draft in the chat. So what I will say is that's a backstory that watch. If Bronco makes it into the playoffs, there's a possibility, that he may end up facing Dimes if he can get past Jelly or whatnot. And Jelly's is in that crew. So you may be like, you get past one guy, you got to go to the next guy. We don't even know where he stand with Jelly. Jelly may want to put a stump of mud hole in him too. So it's a lot of backstories. Big Show's a toxic boy. It's a lot of different scenarios that could play into that. On the Xbox side, we had a situation where a person caught somebody on one of the rules, a rule infraction. There's a possibility that those guys can match up. Player in result lost an ability or had a development trait downgraded, and he was pissed off about it. But there's a possibility that those guys may match up, and if those guys match up, there would be definitely bad blood and hell to be paid. You know what I mean? And that's what you want to. It's nothing that you should be worried about off the game. All this beef is on the game. This is in-game beef. This is Madden beef. This ain't, I'm walking down the street, I catch you slipping, you one of the ops, we gonna get you. Nah, this ain't that. This is, we see you when you see you in these Madden streets and we lock in. Oh, I'm trying to give it to you, the opposition. I'm definitely trying to defeat you and impose my will on you. And that's what it's all about, man. That's what it's all about. So, oh yeah, we got. Oh yeah, let's not talk about the MTV famous Honcho beef. MTV famous, unfortunately, didn't make the playoffs in Xbox, but he did in PS5.
He sure did.
Like we got. It's gonna be a lot of beef, a lot of different scenarios. And I love that Honcho MTV famous beef. And MTV famous lets it be known up front. This ain't nothing outside of Madden, brother. But I think you trash. You know what I mean? I think you the bottom of the earth. I think you scum. I think you boo boo. You know what I mean? And it's nothing personal outside of Madden. You know what I mean? I think you're a great father and a great man and a great provider outside of Madden. But in Madden, you my hoe. You know what I mean? So, you may be a great philanthropist. You may do great things outside of Madden, but in between these four walls, you my hoe, and I'm pimp you out, and that's what you know what I'm saying, and that's what MTV famous. That's what he does a great job pushing that agenda, and he gets under a lot of people's skin, and I'm starting to see a lot of people take that approach and get under people's skin, but it makes the games more intense.
It do
make the games more intense, and like I said, we were locked in. We wanted to see Bronco face off with Dimes. We didn't know. We didn't know what was going to come about of it. We didn't even know if, but I think tonight Bronco has a lot to play for. He has a lot to play for. It's a lot on the line. You don't want to, he was talking a lot in the chat. People didn't think he would make it this far. He's still here. People didn't think he was going to survive the season. Bronco is still here. You know what I'm saying? So Bronco, in that sense, respect to him. You got to give him his respect because he earned it this year. He stuck it out. He did his thing with them Falcons. And he got an opportunity to make the playoffs. And if he make the playoffs, ain't no telling what can happen when you get there. So shout out to Bronco. Shout out to everybody that's competing and things like that. But I'm excited.
Wait a minute. How you gonna throw up the Madden Underground backstories and Snipes over here going team sprint. You got assassin over there.
Oh, and let's not talk about.
How do we not talk about that?
Because sometimes we know sprint turned over a new leaf. I seen him defending the lesser players in the Discord, which I thought was okay. He's turned over a new leaf. He's defending the players. He's coming to their aid in the Discord and things like that, which I thought was very valiant of Sprint.
Is it because I want you to ask all of the controllers that have suffered under his fearsome hand. I want you to ask them if he's a changed man. Okay? You over here talking about what he's writing in the chat. Why don't you ask them controllers, bro?
We know. Okay, we've witnessed Sprint is one of the few players that plays on camera. We know that he'll break a controller on camera, and I've seen him do it mid game, and then the game goes to that little weird thing like please connect controller, and he's walking around the room looking for a controller. And that just makes everything awkward for the rest of us because we're sitting here just waiting and we got a game to go. You know what I mean? So
we don't condone that type of controller violence.
No, we don't, but we do. If we ain't no Peter for controllers. You know what I'm saying? So if you want to beat, kick, throw a controller, go ahead. You know what I'm saying? If you want to be an activist for controllers, then
I do. You need to love your controller. That's all I'm saying.
But I'm saying in order to be a certain type of dog, you have to be a different kind of animal. You know what I mean? So ain't that what Kobe said in the commercial?
Yeah.
so you gotta. So that's just my opinion. But I'm actually, like I said, I love the playoffs. I love the Madden Underground playoffs. If you guys are interested in participating in some of this, go ahead and run over to MaddenUnderground.com and register. Get your name in our database so you can be informed and know what's going on. Also, there's a link to our Discord so you can jump in and know what's going on and be in tune and informed on what's going on. And hit the follow button. Don't be one of them creeps that be sitting here watching, not saying nothing in the chat. Speak up, make your presence felt. Say hi, say hello. We don't bite, you know what I'm saying? Maybe we don't. I can't speak for the rest of these dudes in the league, because they some of them like rabid dogs, when it comes to this gameplay. But I'm eager to see how these playoffs pan out, and we welcome everybody to come in, watch, participate, and be a part of everything. If you guys are out there and you're hosting tournaments and things like that, we are looking for content for our site. So this means that if you're looking for some extra advertisement for your events, your tournaments, your leagues, we have opportunities for you guys to, we can aid you in that process and maybe get you out to maybe a few more people that weren't aware of what you're doing. But direct messages on Twitter, UG Madden, and we'll definitely get you right in that department. What else did I want to talk about before we get out of here? Because we got a big game to get ready for, and I don't want to roll right into it. I want to kind of get ready for it. So we talked about the offseason, talked about the playoff picture, talked about the players, showcased the beef, and Robert Quinn got traded to the Eagles today. Not just the rich get richer, huh?
Man,
that's what they say.
Rich get richer. Rich get richer. I just that low key pissed me off just to say, because I definitely thought he was gonna be a Titan.
They wanted to be they want this Super Bowl, not now, but right now. They want it right now. They 6-0, going to get a big boy. You know what I'm saying? Only had to give up a 4th round pick for him.
Stop controlling violence is trending in the chat right now.
There you go. Stop controlling violence. That's right. You let your voices be heard. You guys know what I'm talking about. I agree with all of you. Keep it going. And getting back to Quinn, you got to think that the Eagles are really taking a look at who their potential Super Bowl opponent would be. And all signs are pointing either to the Kansas City Chiefs or the Buffalo Bills. And that's what you want. You want to have Robert Quinn. You don't want him to be an every down dude. You want him to be that 3rd down dude. You want him to be that pass rushing dude. And they already have a formidable defense. So when you add him to their team and you put him exclusively in pass rushing situations, I like what they're doing. It's a safe pick. It's only a 4th round. What other 4th round pick has the veteran leadership and experience and is going to be able to contribute in big moments in big games like Quinn?
Definitely. And we're about the J Hall and MP are getting ready to get their game situated. So we're going to roll into that. We're going to take a brief break. You guys don't go anywhere. When we go back live, make sure you tune in. But we don't want to have this podcast with the game attached to us. We got to separate them. So in order to do that, we got to stop the stream and and restart the stream. Snipes know the business. And we'll be right back. So make sure you guys keep it locked. Didn't mean to interrupt you, Philly guy, by the way, either.
Oh, I was done.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. Control the violence. Stop it.
Stop it.
Stop it.